everybody, Mick and Liz here. Welcome back to Sail Surf Rome. We're here in the beautiful Whakarava Atoll in French Polynesia.
And we're here today with our new addition to the Rome family, Kopiko, who is now 6 months old with us on Rome. So we spent last summer in New Zealand, 2017-18 summer, and we got to know the Carline family, Russell and Corinne, Elia and Breezer, and fell in love with them and the OC tender. Hence why we left New Zealand with Kopiko, our OC tender 350. And today Michael's going to show you around, give you a bit of a tour, bit of a review after 6 months of usage. And yeah, hope you love it.
I won't spend my time confined, trying just to make ends meet. I'm gonna live while I'm alive, I won't be bullied by the hierarchy. You're never gonna know if you never ever go, and nothing in life comes for free. One opportunity to make things right, I won't die wondering. Life is short, we don't got long, nothing can be guaranteed. If you ain't satisfied and you get it all wrong, you don't get a warranty. So don't sign the line that you don't agree. I'm gonna pack my bags, hit the road, there's so much to see. Got 2 eyes on the road, 2 hands on the wheel, 2 eyes on the road, 2 hands on the wheel, 2 hands on the wheel.
Loaded up today.
Ready? Stepping on.
Two mountain bikes, 9 kilos of gas, a couple $100 worth of groceries. Still got all our room for all the rest of the gear we keep in the dinghy as standard. 4 people. Got a bit of fun. See how we go. Wind the power on.
With the flat bottom of the boat, it gets up onto the plane so easily, so it doesn't matter if we're carrying 4 people, all our gear, surfboards, kite gear, fuel tanks, shopping, we can still get up onto the plane. And yeah, with that 20 horsepower on there as well, it probably helps, but I think it's the design of the boat that just makes it plane so easily.
We'll put a bit more carbon reinforcement in here because I know Mick's a maniac with his 20 horse, so put more carbon there. But mate, you guys do missioning, you know, you're surfers, you're carrying tons of gear.
So for our OC 350, the 20 horsepower is probably a bit of overkill. We definitely don't need that much power, it gets up onto the plane really easy, but for a positive note we have found that it's halved our fuel consumption, so yeah, we're just cruising along with only half throttle, and yeah, we're saving so much more fuel, so that's a really big positive. Great fuel efficiency.
I'm going to use a bit less fuel, I think.
Less lower fuel consumption, you think?
Yeah.
Well, that's good because we've only got about 500 mils of fuel left in the tank. There's so much room in the 350. So for our surfing missions, kite missions, any little explorations when we just want to put all our gear inside the dinghy, we love it. It's the perfect little adventure boat. All set for your first season, little strike mission, fishing, surfing.
See what we can find. Hopefully come home with some lunch.
Have fun, boys. It really is amazing how much more dry you stay in this dinghy compared to the inflatable cat dinghy we had if we went on a mission and we were, you know, ploughing through a bit of boat slop or some waves. It was great, you could just charge through, but we were saturated, and if we were picking up any friends with luggage, then everything was wet, and it was, yeah, it was always a wet ride. Whereas I think in the OC tender, most of the time, unless it's really rough, we all stay dry and everything in the boat stays dry. It's protected and safe, so it's awesome.
Are you getting wet, Julia?
No, I'm glad because I've got my phone in my pocket. A big plus of having a composite dinghy means that we can do any repair work ourselves. So if we get a ding or a scratch, if we happen to run into a reef, which we hopefully won't, but we can do all the repair work ourselves. We've got fiberglassing repair kit on board. As you know, Mick built the boats. Our main boat Rome, so you know, fixing a little ding on the OC tender's no problem.
And just a bit of carbon reinforcement where you guys hit the rocks. Only two sorts of sailors. One have hit the rocks and the ones that are going to hit the rocks.
So this is probably the last time you'll have to pump up.
Inflatable dinghies are finished with.
Inflatable dinghies are the ancient history. Handling the dinghies, no problem. It's super light, being composite, so we can pull it up onto the beach, no problem. That, and then
Okay, come, you got to bring it back. You got to bring it back.
and then stop. I'm filming now.
Hey?
Oh, that red light.
Oh,
You better do it. Muscles?
Well, I don't know how.
You'll figure it out. Pick it up and turn.
One handle?
It's not heavy.
you'll figure it out, Liz.
Easy peasy.
Not find the water yet.
Huh?
Not find the water yet.
Well, that'll be the easier part. It's got the Beachmaster wheels at the back, so we just flip them down and it makes it really easy to drag up out of the water onto a ramp or even up onto the beach. So we get it out of the water a lot of the time if we're going ashore, whereas before we had to find somewhere to tie the dinghy up. Now if we can, we prefer just to get it out of the water and put it somewhere safe, chain it to a tree or a post, and yeah, that's been really good for us. It's super easy to move around.
Love to do.
Beep, beep,
Yeah, if you've got a
beep,
little ways to go,
beep.
I find going backwards a bit easier because just take the weight on your hands and then you can just push with your hips rather than having to lean, and you can also see where you're going.
Backwards is
Yeah,
the key.
just something I've sort of, well, both ways work, but I reckon this way's pretty easy. This truck's boxed us out, we've got a long way around.
You're going to get Kopiko's wheels dirty.
I'm trying to avoid the puddles.
The OC tender does have quite high sides, so it's great for keeping everything inside dry, but it does mean it's a little more difficult to get into when you're in the water, but it does come with a ladder if you need that. Mick and I are fine, we can just sort of launch up into the boat and push ourselves up with our arms, but we did find the ladder was great when we've had parents on board or children, or if you've got a lot of gear on and you need to climb into the dinghy out of the water, the ladder works really well. We have had the odd growing
operators. We got. Can you hear that noise?
I sure can. So excited about surfing, you forgot to put the bung in the dinghy.
Ah! That's one of the best things about this dinghy is you can actually row it, save some fossils, not running the outboard all the time. And the oars are kept really nice and safely and secretly up underneath the deck here. So there's a little bungee loop just up under here. Drop them out. And voila, you've got a full set of oar, full-sized oar, ready to get you out of danger in case of an outboard fail, or row on a nice day, or as many days as you can to save some petrol if you're in a remote location, or just to save your emissions, wear and tear on your outboard. It's all positives. 2 rowing positions. This is the forward rowing position on the thwart seat. When you're in by yourself, it gets the transom up nice, skims along pretty good, but it's a little bit squirrely. Not too bad though. Get the motor up out of the water, and then if you've got a bunch of cargo and stuff in here, you can use one of the seat blocks. Pop that here. And then set the oars up in the center position. There you go.
Voila!
Voila!
Many believe high currency, evidential of success. But true prosperity is health and happiness. You don't gotta do what you don't wanna do, or be who you don't wanna be. Teachers will teach and preachers will preach, but at the end of the day we're free.
So put them away. Almost the same process. Tuck them back up in here. Bungee on. And boom, done. Secret. Don't tell anyone, so they don't pinch me oars from the dinghy dock, right? Alright, so let's go check out Kopiko, and I can show you basically how we've got it all set up. Come on over. Alright, so stepping on. I'll start up the front and then work your way through the different compartments down the back. Up the front here is like the anchor bag. We keep our anchor in a separate bag so we can take it out and keep it on board the boat if we need to. Other than that, this big net up the front, you can see it's got everyone. We've got mum and dad on board at the moment. We've got everyone's shoes and thongs in there so we won't forget to take them to shore. The painter lives in here, and also we've got a bike lock, a really long bike lock for chaining it up when we go to dinghy docks and public wharves and stuff. That threads down through here and is locked onto the carbon tube, which is the main integrated securing point for the boat that runs through here. Underneath here, I'll just get Liz to jump over with the camera, is the 12-litre fuel tank. That's bungeed in place here, and the fuel line runs down underneath the deck to the outboard down the back there.
Positive of keeping the fuel tank up the front there?
It's all about weight distribution. So this dinghy's always been about easy planing and low horsepower requirements. So by putting the weight forward, also using your tiller extension, it skims along with like no effort at all.
And it stays up there nice and tight?
Yeah, basically it's bungeed in. We've had no problem with it moving around. Even when we lift it, you'll see we've got a bit of a different way of lifting it onto the back of the boat on our davits, and we lift it on quite an angle to get it up, and yeah, no problem at all with it moving around with it once it's all bungeed in and lashed onto the little custom pad eyes.
Rolling, let's talk about storage.
Alright, storage. I'll show you through the storage compartments, storage nets on this dinghy, and yeah, what we keep in each one of those and how we've sort of figured out to set ours up. Starboard forward, we keep a basic first aid kit and some sunscreen and stuff in a lunchbox there. This is a bag with I keep for my surfing gear that I always keep on board, wax and fin keys and a spare set of fins, often a leg rope as well if I'm going to be surfing heavier waves. Other than that, we've got a sail tie in there and a little lightweight towel And because it's off the floor, it always stays dry. If it rains or if there's a bit of water gets in the bottom of the boat, you keep everything nice and clean and dry. Starboard stern, back here, we've recycled a chia seed container as our main baler, and we've got a sponge which we use to get most of the water out of the back if we get a little bit here. Otherwise, take your bungs out while you're on the plane and the water disappears out. 2 big bungs down the back here. These are the seat blocks, the infamous seat blocks, stored under the stern, tied in for buoyancy in the boat. When they come out, you sit on them for rowing in the 2 positions, or if you're rowing from the forward position, you sit up there. You can sit on this one if you're rowing from the aft position. Otherwise, if we've got 4 people in the boat and we're going a long way, we'll often put 2 seat blocks down, 2 crew will sit up in here, or 2 passengers will sit in here, and then a couple of people side by side here, and it's much more comfortable and drier because you're sitting inboard, and the skipper's got good vision because he hasn't got people sitting in front of him if he's like picking his way through the coral or up the side of the reef and all that sort of stuff. Okay, in our port stern compartment, we keep 2 fenders if we're tying up to a concrete wharf with a few barnacles or a jetty or something like that. Just protect the big rub rail, keep it in good condition, keep the dinghy all smick. And the ladder, which goes in place just over the port side here. Yeah, and then moving up to the last storage bag here, port forward. In here we've got a bit of refueling kit and a spare string for the starter motor for the outboard, funnel, rag. This is our grab bag. We don't keep it in here all the time, but in here we've got a couple of flares, a handheld VHF, and also if we're going on long missions, we'll take our satellite messenger, our inReach, just to, you know, we're in pretty remote locations here. We can't really rely on anyone else to come and get us other than ourselves.
So we'll tell you a little bit more about the surfboard racks, because they are an addition to our OC tender that Russell agreed to put in there, and yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, so like Liz said, one of the main things for us is being able to go on trips up the coast, and this dinghy allows us to do big runs, you know, 5-10 miles if we can't find an anchorage near a surf break, and having our boards safe and secure on the boat while we do those missions is really important. So Russ helped us integrate a pair of actually just regular car soft racks, roof racks into the boat, and here we lash our boards across, and it's been working out spot on.
So the 2 lowers, we'll just chop them and sew them.
Yeah.
Like
so there's a gap about that much between the eyes on it.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, that'll work. Sweet.
Nice little custom adjustment. Surfboards.
Surfboards.
Sweet.
Don't put bloody wax in the tender.
Yeah, so this is pretty much the standard OC tender with the full deck OptiGrip deck option, which is pretty much standard these days as well. Our additional features we got were the Beachmaster wheels, rod holders in the stern, and we also added the ladder, which I just showed you, and the surfboard racks, which we spoke about before there too. That's Kopiko, our OC tender, 3.5 metre version, and yeah, we've had an awesome season with it and love it to bits. Thanks for watching, and if you're curious about the OC tender, come check it out. We are cruising around the South Pacific the next year or so, very much now a part of the OC tender family, and yeah, if you've been having a thought about maybe getting one, come over, say good day. We can take it for a spin, we could even go over and check out your boat and see how you can get it fitted up on there, and yeah,
ask any questions and we're happy to answer.
Yeah, perfect. You see you out there.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Bags, hit the road.
That's really pretty.
There's so much to see. I got 2 eyes on the road, 2 hands on the wheel.
Whoa, that's really cool. That looks like a axe.
2 eyes on
That
the
looks like a
road, 2 on the wheel. Two hands on the wheel.